Lawyers representing accused 1 to 4 in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial say they will bring an application for charges to be dropped against their clients. This relates to the first docket in the matter which has seen 5 men currently on trial for the soccer star's murder. Malesela Teffo, who is a counsel for the accused, joins us now. Thanks so much for your time on SABC News. I understand that you want the charges against your clients accused number 1 to 4 dropped. Just elaborate for us, please.
Yes, good afternoon. The reason we are bringing this application for the charges to be dropped against our clients is because we have established that there is a statement, affidavit, 2 affidavits actually. And I'll start with the first affidavit of the leading investigating officer in the case number 636, whereby it said our clients are linked in this case by the contractual assassination agreement that allegedly entered between them and Ms. Kumalo, that is Kelly Kumalo. And secondly, they are linked by the affidavit. I mean, not affidavit, but I mean to say the confession made by accused 1 and 2. Those confessions, we have realized that they were taken by the Ekurhuleni Metro Police. Our clients were taken and assaulted until they agree to make a confession, whereby they allege certain people that are the one who are responsible for the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. And those people, surprisingly, are not before the court. So they were also in prison, but they are not before the court. In court are the people who are not involved in the shooting of the Senzo Meyiwa, according to those confessions. And how on earth can the confession be taken by the Ekurhuleni police officers? The Metro Police are dealing with the bylaws. They are not dealing with the Criminal Procedure Act, 51 of 1977. That's another thing. And we wrote a letter to the state to ask them to give us that document that is linking our client to the murder of Senzo. As they said, there is an agreement between them and Kelly Kumalo. We cannot, they don't want to give us that document, and they are saying affidavit of Brigadier Geninda, which is alleging that there is a contractual agreement between our client and Kelly. They say it's not before the court yet. Yet, we do have that affidavit. Mm-hmm. And we don't understand the interpretation of saying the affidavit is not before the court. Well, there was a disclosure on the 17th of March 2022 before Judge Baum that we do have that affidavit. It's before the court because it has been disclosed to us. It has been given to us. Now we've got the contents within the same affidavit. Now they say, no, we cannot now talk about that affidavit until it will be brought before the court by the state. Then we can talk about that. That is nonsensical.
All right. Advocate
yes,
Teffo,
so hence we are saying now, ultimately, because it's clear that our clients are not linked. There's no even a tinge of evidence that is linking them to the murder of Senzo on the 26th of October 2014. So now we are bringing application in terms of Section 6B of Criminal Procedure Act to the National Director of Public Prosecution to say, drop the charges against our client insofar as case number 636 is concerned.
All right. Can you talk our viewers who don't understand the law, what Section 6B of the Criminal Procedure Act says about this type of application?
Section 6B, let me just simply say, we direct this application to the person with the powers to drop the charges in the prosecution, and that person with the powers to drop the charges against the accused is the Advocate Shamila Badoy, the National Director of Public Prosecution, and that application can be brought at any time, even after the accused has been pleaded, whether pleaded guilty or whatever. But in our case, we pleaded not guilty. So at any given stage, we've got the right to bring that. Should we realize some of anomalies that has happened then it will just say at any given time, the prosecutor, being the National Director of Public Prosecution, can drop the charges against the accused. And the court concerned also can now acquit the accused in that regard. So now we were supposed to go back to court in the 12th of July this year regarding the jurisdiction. The issue of the jurisdiction is no more an issue now. The issue is about the anomalies that we have realized that it's winter now. Our clients are in jail this winter for nothing, because the state is refusing to give us the documents that are linking them to the alleged crime. And in the same case of 636, there has been allegation that Kelly Khumalo is the mastermind. Is the one who contracted with our client. Now, why is the mastermind languishing outside? Why is the mastermind outside? Why is the mastermind free? Well, our clients are languishing in court, in jail. It cannot be. So hence we say now, we will have to wait for the response of Shamila Patoi in making decision in the 636. Then we lead our client outside. And the right people must be arrested now.
All right. How long does this process normally take, writing to the Director of Public Prosecutions and getting a response?
The application, because we now written the letter to the court, just to inform the court that we are now taking this another route of Section 6B, that will be submitted tomorrow, because we are still busy. It will be submitted tomorrow. And then on receipt by the Director of Public Prosecution, in this regard, will be given her 7 days. Because it's not a tedious process. She will come across the issues that we are alleging. And definitely, one thing for sure, it cannot be normal that our clients are still in jail now, after she would have realized that it cannot be that you say you've got a confession against these people, but you don't want that confession to be dealt with. And now we've realized that the confession was taken by the Ekurhuleni, the Metro Police, West Part. Such a serious violation, such a serious cultural violation of our client. And then secondly, you are refusing to give us a very crucial document that you allege it was signed between our client and the mastermind being Ms. Khumalo, who is outside. Now you put our client in jail. So now that won't take long. I think 7 days is enough.
Okay, you've had clashes in court with Judge Teffo Maumela over some of these issues you've raised on the allegation that there was a mastermind, the allegation that the mastermind has not been charged, and the issue of 2 dockets. Are you going to, if you don't get an answer by the 7 days deadline, or you don't get an answer that you want, going to proceed with the case or try and find another way to get these charges dropped?
So once we bring Section 6B, Section 6B, remember the matter is between the NPA and the accused. The matter doesn't belong to the court. It's an unfortunate situation that we have realized that the court, in all its fairness and with a due respect, there is a clear protection of the state here. The court is protecting the state. It's clear, without any beating around the bush. The court is just biased against the accused. Accused 1 to 4. It's definitely a bias. So now we no longer pursuing that, because we have realized that in the court those things are not working, because the court is there to defend the state. In the state and the SAPS. Actually, there is a corrupt relationship between NPA and the SAPS. Now that has been protected by the court all along. We've been hitting every corner, but the court is always being stacked. And we can realize that the reason that the matter was taken to this court, because the matter belonged to the South Gauteng in Johannesburg. Now it's been taken to Pretoria. we believe that in all this fairness, we believe that from our side, we allege that there was a shopping around of the judges. This matter was refused by the judges in Johannesburg. Now they took the matter to Pretoria because Pretoria is easy for them to find a judge of their choice who can definitely protect and defend them in this unfairness that is happening against our client. So we are no longer going to entertain the judge there. We need the NDPP, Advocate Shamila Batoyi, to make a decision on our application. And once you make the application, it's the end of the matter. It's in our favor.
Advocate Teffo, it's quite unusual for somebody who's involved in a matter to be doing a television interview while the case is ongoing. And you've just spoken about the challenges that you have in court. It is sometimes quite frowned upon to speak about your case while it's ongoing, especially if it appears that you may be casting aspersions on either the court or the system that's taking place. Do you not worry that that may impact your case?
No, the situation is that, like I'm saying, there's a question from ourselves concerning the security of this trial here. There is definitely 36 that are paid by the state here. Remember on the 28th of April when I was arrested in court, because there was a warrant of arrest that I knew that has been issued 4 months before. And I've been always asking for that warrant of arrest so that we can go and cancel it. They've been holding it so that if there is anything that comes out during the trial, they will come and arrest me. It has been there for a long time. And it's arrangement of the DPP from Johannesburg and the police. So what needs to be done, if anything has to be clear, Shamila Batoyi has to make sure that he's dealing with our application in a fair manner because they are NPA, they prosecute without fear, favor, and prejudice. In this regard, all this supposed to be done in terms of the policies of the NPA have been thrown out of the window. There is no fairness yet. There is no fairness that they are doing. Instead, they are favoring. Why do they don't want to arrest the mastermind? They are favoring the mastermind, which is contrary to the NPA policies. Prosecute without fear, favor, and prejudice. Those things are no more there. So naturally, all in all, it's us who are now being prejudiced by the state.
Malesela Teffo, counsel representing accused 1 to 4 in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, they're saying that they are going to submit a letter to the National Director of Public Prosecutions tomorrow, Shamila Batoyi, and give her 7 days to drop that case in terms of Section 6B of the Criminal Procedure Act, saying that in case 636, the accused 1 to 4 are linked in terms of a contract killing and linked by confession. But he's saying that's not true, and that the confession was gained from suspects 1 and 2 by the Ekurhuleni Metro Police, not proper procedure was followed, and that's why he's writing to the National Director of Public Prosecutions. We will keep you updated on that case, and thanks so much for your time.